day. It's Saturday, the 17th of December. And thank you very much for joining us on our live stream. Of course, as per usual, just want to make sure that everybody can hear okay. So what can I tell you about the weather today? Pretty cloudy in Phuket, although we do expect a good day coming up. Weather-wise, a bit of cloud. I think they're saying that it's going to be a little bit cooler around Thailand for the next 3 or 4 days. Okay, so what else can I tell you? I'm as sick as a dog. I've got, well, I thought it was like a really bad hay fever a couple of days ago, but it got a lot worse, and so I'm probably going to be having a bit of a snivel during today's program. So just socially distance, keep far enough away, wear a face mask if you're concerned, and we should be okay. So I should just say hello to everybody. Nongwu So, we've got Alpha Bravo, Nikki, Lance, Frank Lee, the chairman, Alpha Bravo, Larry Connolly, and Tim Shaw from a rainy Sydney. And it's in Munich, 20 centimetres of snow and -6 degrees. So, gee, it's down to about 27 or 28 here today, Celsius. So a lot of Thais starting to rug up as it gets below 30. So yes, I am going to be a little bit under the weather this morning. I've taken an antihistamine, but I'll duck down from time to time to blow my nose. Okay, now we do have quite a lot to talk about today, as the thumbnail suggested. Do we get a slightly better framing with the camera? Is that a little bit better? Okay, so I want to talk about scams, and I want to talk a bit about what's happening as far as tourism is concerned here in Thailand at the moment. And I probably need to address a bit of an elephant in the room. On Wednesday evening, I did a post on my personal Facebook page, which was entitled RIP. Now, I've since removed that for matters of courtesy. Now, the post itself, I was made aware during Wednesday that a significant person had passed away due to certain circumstances, and I didn't name that person, but things have transpired since then, and I've decided to remove it because I don't want to be discourteous, disrespectful, and I certainly want to stay in Thailand. So I don't really need or want to say any more than that, but we can certainly address it in code later on in the program if you so wish. I also want to thank you very, very much. Greetings from Satahip. That's Joy. Hi, Joy. Great to have you with us. Hope the weather's good there in Satahip today. It's nice beaches down there too. We kicked over 14,000 subscribers during the week. So I'm eternally grateful. I'm very, very grateful for your support, and just a little bit surprised as well. So thanks very much, everybody, for your ongoing support. Trying to go for 15,000 by the end of the year, which would be just amazing. Subscribers are hard to get these days on YouTube. It's obviously becoming the sort of preeminent online platform for video and stuff like that. I'm very happy to be part of it, and it's becoming, well, a bit of a profession for me as I move forward. If I ever told my mother, when she asked me when I was young, what are you going to do when you get older, Tim? Oh, I'm going to be a vlogger. She would have sent me down to the doctor. But here we are, vlogging here in Thailand. Also just want to thank 5 Star Marine, our sponsors here at TNT. So 5 Star Marine, who are about 500 metres that way, and they'll be heading out with their customers today. I think they are, what would you say, the preeminent tour boat people here. I know they're booked out till early January, so they're doing well, and hopefully we've played a little part in bringing them to your attention. And certainly there are some beautiful islands and beaches off the coast of Phuket. Not only on Phuket, Let's have a talk about scams. And the reason I wanted to talk about scams was because of this story. Go if I can find it now. Where is it? No. Now I won't be able to find it. I put the story on hold here. It's about a young English woman who had an accident. I'm going to have to battle along here and just find it. Just bear with me. Got a few moments? I won't be long. How many windows have I got open? What on earth have I been doing? So I'll try and find that. I need to find you now. Where are you? Just talk amongst yourselves for a moment as I find the window which is today's program. There it is. So that story, I'll go back into here and I open it up, and it was published in the BBC. So let's go to that story as I close that off. And a woman breaks nearly every bone in her face in Thailand. Now, I don't have the technology to show you, but I can show you the photo of the lady. There she is. And this is the article in the BBC today. So a nice looking lady, and she's obviously had a pretty awful situation. A student is asking for help to pay for her sister's medical bills after she suffered a horrific accident whilst on holiday. Jo Hoffman from Wolverhampton came off her hired scooter whilst in Thailand. Scooters are basically sort of smaller motorbikes, like the step-throughs, the 110cc step-throughs that I'm sure you all know well. She's currently in a hospital in Koh Samui, where medical experts from Bangkok came to try and help her. Since she's found out she's not covered by her travel insurance and her medical bills could reach £50,000. We've got a problem with our microphone, it seems. We've got that. Oh, what's going on? I think we're going to have problems today. I've got a flashing red light. Can you hear me okay? Oh dear. It's going to be one of those days. I just know. Why is that flashing red? Da, 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 da. We are having problems. So just closing that. Where is you? I can't find you now. I know you're here somewhere. Oh, there it is. That's you. Okay, so we'll just keep on barging on. Audio is just fine. I do have a flashing red light on my microphone on the camera, but we'll carry on. So I just wanted to go into what her insurance situation was, if I can find the story again. And this is a young woman, a UK citizen, who fell off her motorbike. Let's find out a little bit later on in the story. She was working, she's 28 years old, by the way, and she was working in social care, had arrived in Thailand with her boyfriend early December, planning to have an extended trip, and had hoped to go to New Zealand later. And Jo suffered injuries. She fell off her scooter, hit the road. She was wearing a helmet at the time. Neither of us lost consciousness, but part of me wished I had, she said. She eventually got to hospital where she was told about her injuries and advised that she needed emergency facial reconstruction and that her jaw may need to be wired shut. That sounds like a fairly awful situation. But time just ticked away. They vigorously checked her travel insurance documents whilst she lay there waiting for treatment in agony. Okay, so I admit that I'm lucky to be alive, but the mounting medical bills presented to me on a daily basis filled my heart with dread. So, okay, the moral of the story here is that you've got to be very, very careful with insurance. If you don't have a motorbike license in Thailand, if you don't have a motorbike license in your own country and an international driver's license, if you don't have either of those two things, a motorbike license in your own country, an international driver's license, or a motorbike license in Thailand, you're not going to be insured for riding a motorbike in Thailand. So they may tell you you are at the motorbike rental shop, but you're not. And you end up in hospital, you're going to have to pay all those bills yourself. Now, This comes down to fine print. You're going to need to always check with your travel insurance. You need to check with any other insurers. Now, she said she had an Amex card and she believed her Amex card would cover her insurance. But did she check the fine print on the Amex? Or they just said, oh yeah, this gives you travel insurance. Well, it doesn't cover you for everything. Remember, the insurer's job is to try and not pay you a single cent. So they're going to work as hard as they can to try and make sure they don't have to pay out on the insurance. So you need to make sure you've got all your I's dotted and T's crossed. So if you are going to ride a motorbike in Thailand, you must have a motorbike license from your home country and check your insurance. It may actually say that it will not cover you riding a motorbike. Now, if it says that, then obviously, even if you've got a license, they're not going to cover you. So it all comes down to checking on your insurance. And that story, her name is Jo Hoffman. The story's in the BBC. She's asking for some help, of course. She's got a GoFundMe page. We'll leave that to you. So there you go. That's the situation. And I suppose just another warning. We do wish her well, and we hope that she's got some friends and relatives with her to sort her through this ordeal. If you do drive a motorbike, at least make sure that you have some sort of experience. Excuse me, here we go. The next one is, and I'll get into some of your questions first. We'll talk about holiday scams, because the tourists are back, but so are the scammers. So we're going to have a talk about holiday scams in just a moment. Let's just check out some of the comments and questions that you sent. RJ said, Chombury, the water has been black for years. This follows up a story I did on TNT yesterday about black water seeping into the beach at Jomtien. When I lived there, it was always astonishing to see Thais flocking to play in the sewerage water at weekends. Pattaya is slightly better, but still brown at best. Basically, the whole Gulf of Thailand is a shithole, says RJ. You have to go to the Andaman to get decent seawater. Well, that's not quite right. The water in the Gulf of Thailand can be quite nice, especially if you, the further south you go in the Gulf of Thailand, of course, the better it gets. So I'll give you a solution. Kel Ali says expats love the Pitya water rather than Pattaya water, like the something old folks say, mate, what doesn't kill you just makes you stronger. Okay, let's have a talk about what to do if you've got black water seeping into the areas where you swim. Take a photo. Take a photo and post it on your social media page. And get your friends to repost it on their social media pages. Get your camera out and make a 30-second video of the black water showing the beach where it is, and even saying the beach where it is, and show the source as far as you can of where that black water is coming from, and post that onto YouTube or Facebook or your favourite social media platform. Eventually, you will get some response. All the municipalities and the government officials do actually comb social media quite judiciously these days. So they can't really do much if you've just posted it. Don't blame anybody, just say this is black water, I wonder what it is, and show where it is. Don't blame anybody, don't name names, and you'll eventually get some attention. Now, if it gets cleaned up for a few weeks and then it restarts again, just take another photo and keep on posting on social media and get all your friends to do so until you do get some attention. Reg Dunlop said, how's the traffic coming into Patong since the road is still not finished? It's expected to be completed. It is expected to be completed by Christmas, with a question mark. Okay, Reg, they're actually well on the way. I think that road will be open, Christmas is a week away? It will be open, I think, by Christmas. They've been paving it the last couple of days. It's all built up, retained. They've got irrigation pipes under it. I think they've actually done a fairly good job. They've widened parts of it to about 4 metres. In doing so, they've tried to get rid of some of the tighter bends. So I think in the long term, it's probably worked out quite well. that they've been able to improve that road up into Patong. There, of course, is the alternative road, which is now open, which is a 3-kilometre long goat track. It's like that. It's got some great views, but boy, you need to have quite a good engine to get up some of those hills. So yes, I think it will be open by Christmas. Argonaut. COVID is coming home, likely to go through the whole Chinese population in the next few months, probably the next few weeks, triggered by first New Year celebrations since 2019. Could be millions of deaths, serious illnesses, if impact is similar to Hong Kong. Doubt any Chinese tourists in first half of 2023. Well, thank you for your analysis, Argonaut. Just make sure we can all hear, just in case you can't say this happens to be. Neil Clark says we probably see a surge in road accidents after legalisation of cannabis. I guess reaction slows down more with smoking a joint than with booze. I would say if you're under the influence of any drug, no matter what it is, natural or otherwise, don't go on the roads. Don't go on a road where I'm driving, please. So, yes, thank you, Neil, for your comments. Cannabis hasn't been legalised, it's been decriminalised. And the Thai Parliament is still debating about laws and guidelines and regulations pertaining to that particular formerly illicit Category 5 drug. Stefan talking about electric vehicles, and he says BYD is the biggest manufacturer of electrified cars, but not pure electric cars. That is still Tesla, he says, and the VW Group in Europe. So, yeah, we were talking about BYD. I've just bought a new car, may or may not be a BYD, and I said that BYD was the largest manufacturer of electric cars, apparently the biggest manufacturer of both hybrid and EVs. Excuse me again. Little pauses for you to go, what a lovely day. Okay, to the next one, and this is from the Adventures of Brock in Thailand. I think if it wasn't for the pot being easy to get and smoke, the high amount of visitors to Thailand would be a lot lower. If the Thai government puts the marijuana law back to where it was, it will destroy their economy right now. So the Adventures of Brock in Thailand, I assume your name is Brock, thinks that Thai tourism is relying on the cannabis bill at the moment. Well, I think there's probably a very small amount of people coming to Thailand. I'm sure when they think, gee, I'd like to have a cigarette of that particular herb, I'll go to Thailand. I mean, if you use this particular drug or herb, call it what you like, then I'm sure that you're not going to maybe turn the camera when you need to blow your nose. Thanks, Reg. I'll do that. So if you want to use that, I'm sure you're not going to be going to Thailand. You've already got it sorted wherever you live. It's the same for people that say they come to Thailand for the nightlife, or some aspects of the nightlife. But if you want to drink cheap beer, there's plenty of other places you can get cheap beer as well. People come to Thailand because it's Thailand. There's so many vibes, so many great things that you can do here. You put them all together and it's Thailand, and that's why I live here anyway. I thought Tim was going to hire an assistant for his Saturday live streams. Hire? You've got to be joking. Who was it last week? The young gentleman who was with us last week, whose name eludes me. Good heavens, what a shocking memory. He's away, back in the United States. I think he's going to be back in the next couple of weeks, and indeed he may be joining us to help do these live streams. It's actually very hard to find somebody to be a regular on the program. I did have a guest lined up for today, but they pulled out. So, yeah, I basically need a full-time producer, and that's sort of where I'm heading, because I want to do more videos during the days, weekdays, and I want to make these live streams on Saturday bigger and better and more productive and useful for you. Because I'm talking here, I can't be reading your messages. So it's quite a complicated thing to do. I do my best. I think you're allergic to the THIGER. Thanks, Simona. Lance has a question I haven't read. How would you know where to get the best and most reasonable priced dental treatment in Bangkok? I'd shop around. That's what I'd be doing. Ask some friends. Pretty much if you go into the main areas of Bangkok, or like around the Sukhumvit region, which is sort of well known for expats, you're going to find some excellent dental care. Dentistry in Thailand is very high quality generally and quite well priced. So I'd just be doing some shopping yourself. I would probably do it online because, of course, people can buy space online and get themselves to the top of the Google search. Ask some friends, and if you're in Bangkok, go for a bit of a walk and drop into the places. So I'll do what Reg suggested and turn the camera for a moment. Sorry if you're going to have to hear this. Da-di-da-di-da. And thanks, welcome back to the program. Get Bangkok Pat as a guest, says Alpha Bravo. Well, Bangkok Pat lives in, you'll never guess, Bangkok. So he's going to be difficult to get as a guest. Have they started construction of the Patong Hill Tunnel, asks Reg. No, they haven't. It's been promised for about 20 years, but they haven't started work on the Bangkok Tunnel. The Bangkok Tunnel, the Phuket Tunnel. Phuket Tunnel is basically, rather than going over the quite steep hill into Patong, they were going to put about an 800-metre tunnel under the hill, but it's been promised, it's been budgeted. The problems, I think, are they have to buy up quite a lot of land leading to the tunnel and after the tunnel for the road, and I think that's causing a lot of the problems, with property owners sort of holding out and wanting quite high prices for their property. I believe that is what the situation is. Please, some journalist students in Phuket assist him and get great experience. Thanks, Thomas. That'd be great. Oh, Scott D, thank you very much. Surprising and delightful. Thank you very much for your ongoing support, Scott D. We salute you and hope you're warm. Hello from Chicago. Looking forward to returning to Thailand soon. Thailand will be happy to have you back too. Okay, so just going back and seeing if we can find some questions in today's program after answering some of those other pre-program questions. Good morning, Tim and the rest. You kissed the cat under the table. No, there's no cats here. I'm at a restaurant, and this restaurant doesn't have cats. My cats, by the way, Dina and Dusty, are doing just fine, thank you very much. Stuart tells us it's quite windy here in Yacht Haven. Yes, there are sort of moderate to fresh easterly winds in Phuket today, which is sort of what we'd call high season weather. It means on the west coast all the beaches will be nice and flat and calm and perfect for swimming. Oh, by the way, I'm going to see a new movie today called Avatar. The other Avatar, I think I saw some, 12 years ago. Very ingenious film at the time. Not sure whether we needed a sequel, but we got one from James Cameron. So I'm taking a pillow with me because it goes for more than 3 hours. The best movie of the year, what do you think has been the best movie of the year? Probably go through all our sort of bests and worsts over the next couple of weeks for 2022, but by far the best movie I've seen over 2022 was Elvis, directed by Baz Luhrmann and starring Tom Hanks and Austin Butler, who I think at the moment, the way things are going, is still certainly up for the nomination for an Academy Award for his portrayal of Elvis. Was quite excellent. That movie, I think, was over 3 hours as well. Okay, a question just coming through. When you say to come to Thailand, you get 30 days. Do you have to go to the agent to get the other 15 days? Okay, if you come in, there are about, I don't know, I can't remember, 68 countries at the moment which have visa exemption. I might have that number completely wrong, but certainly all the Western countries, most of them anyway. It's called visa exemption, and until the 31st of March, you get an automatic, thank you very much, to Reg. Thank you, for some tissues. I'm doing well, but thank you very much, Reg. We'll take advantage of that for your Canadian dollars. So, yes, until the 31st of March, you'll get 45 days stamp in your visa. So you can stay in without a visa for 45 days. During that 45 days, obviously the last few days, you can toddle off to immigration near where you are. You don't have to leave the country, and you can get an extension for another 30 days. So you can get 45 plus 30 days without getting a visa or applying for a visa. Anything beyond that, you're going to have to leave the country. At the moment, and there will be exceptions depending on the time of the day and the immigration officer at the border, you may be able to squeak around this, but usually they'll only allow that visa exemption twice in a calendar year. So in other words, if you go out of the country twice before the end of this year, start of next year, you'll get another 2 goes at that visa exemption. Now, if you get a visa on arrival until the 31st of March next year, you'll get 30 days rather than 15 days, and you can extend that for another 15 days. So visa on arrival, for example, for Chinese people or Indian people, then you'll be able to get 30 days on your visa on arrival and apply for an extension for another 15 days. And the extensions in both cases will cost you 1,900 baht at your nearest immigration office without having to leave the country. Hopefully that was an answer to you. Mexico voting on legalizing cannabis, says Don Jordan, one of the largest drug lords in Mexico in process of growing the best cannabis, and they want to be a legal vendor. Thank you very much. Bangkok Pat, his YouTube channel is so cool, and he's a real history and geography teacher. Yes, he is. Bangkok Pat, we introduced him to the tiger when I was there just about 18 months ago, and hopefully we're able to help his channel, and he's gone on to bigger and better things. He's quite a raconteur and does a really interesting program. So that's Bangkok Pat on YouTube. Excuse me for a moment, I'm just going to let you enjoy the view here at Boat Lagoon for just a few moments. And welcome back to the program. Thank you to 5 Star Marine for their support. Okay, is he a historian? Well, I don't think he's a historian so much. I mean, he's an amateur historian, and he does great sort of videos about the history of particular areas in Bangkok, how places got their names. So yeah, go to Bangkok Pat in YouTube, and you can find out quite a lot of little historical tidbits about Bangkok and surrounding areas. I think he sort of branched out into a bit of social issues for people in Thailand as well. Food history, thank you very much, from Australia. What are you up to, food history? What's your story? Are you in Thailand or you're in Australia? But thank you very much for a coffee. Actually, I could do with another coffee. I've just got my water here, but might get them to make some noise on that coffee grinder in just a moment. Now, I had a few other things that I wanted to talk about. Where are we? Scams in Thailand. So yes, we've got the tourists back, and places like Patong, Pattaya, central parts, the touristy parts of Bangkok, very busy at the moment. And oh, he's a history student, says food history. Good for you. So yeah, with all the tourists coming back for high season, I can't Nong Wa Su. I can't. Oh, I don't drink. That's why. So As far as those scams are concerned, anybody approaching you in the street, if you're just wandering around, they say, hey, where are you going? Or where are you from? Just wave politely, pretend you don't understand them and keep walking. Smile, be polite. But anybody who asks those questions, where are you going and where are you from, just ignore them. Unless for whatever reason you feel like engaging with them. But they're usually the starting lines for a lot of scammers. Now, of course, the well-known scams are the jet ski scams and the bike rental scams. Basically, they work by you renting a motorbike or even a car or a jet ski at a beach. Heaven forbid, I don't know why you would, but if you do, you go out, you do your ride, you come back, and there's some damage. Now, the damage, of course, was there in the first place, but it was put in such a place that you weren't going to see it. If you hire a jet ski, if you hire a car or a motorbike, take lots of photos. Check with your own eyes right around the vehicle or the jet ski. Take some photos. Make sure they can see that you've taken the photos. Even send them copies of the photos or offer to do so with a smile on your face, and you'll avoid those sort of scams. But they used to be very, very common, and they used to cost people quite a lot because, of course, the insurance didn't cover the damage. There wasn't any insurance for things like jet skis anyway. Excuse me once again. Here is a beautiful view of Boat Lagoon. Music in the background. And we're back. So I won't put you through much more of this hell and my cold this morning. Grunt Max says the combined effects of ganja and alcohol will put a lot of motorists in hospital and graves, he says. What's the maximum compensation amount payable to the victims with Thai compulsory motor vehicle insurance? I don't know, that's a good question. But there is compulsory motorbike insurance and also motor car insurance when you get registered every year. So you do have compulsory third-party insurance, but that doesn't cover your car or your motorbike, but it does cover third-party. So if you run into somebody, the insurance will cover them. So that's a compulsory situation in Thailand when you register your motorbike or register your car. Indeed, if you are going to rent a motorbike, ask to see the registration papers. Make sure it's got a registration plate on it, because sometimes these motorbikes are not kept up to date with their registration at your peril. Tim, FFS, I don't think I know what you're saying, Robbie. Get a cough button like you had back in the 3AW days. Wow, taking me back to the mid-80s there. Yeah, I don't have a cough button. I'm sure you're hearing all my coughing and spluttering. I apologise, but it's just what I have at the moment. Yes. So Jabba is the main problem. Yaba, I think you're talking about. So Alpha Bravo is saying that Yaba is the main problem. This is methamphetamine, or whatever they put in those pills. And it is a major problem around Thailand. It's becoming increasingly common and increasingly cheap. So these little pills are very, very dangerous. You don't know what you're putting into your mouth, which has always been a common criticism I have of a lot of these party drugs. You just don't know what you're taking. So certainly in the situation of methamphetamine, these are pumped out in the millions per day and pouring out of the Golden Triangle across the borders of Thailand to parts beyond. Third party is what I'm referring to. I don't know what the maximum payout is for third party insurance, but I know that when you pay for your registration for your car or your motorbike each year, that you do have to pay for compulsory third party insurance in Thailand. Tim, get a salt pipe. It's great for respiratory issues. A salt pipe? Am I smoking salt? I don't understand. Do you know the legalities of riding an e-bike in Thailand? Are you talking about an electric motorbike? Are you talking about an electric scooter like that you stand on? As far as I know, those scooters, those electric scooters, are not legal on Thailand roads, and you're not allowed to use them on the sidewalks either. So pretty much it's a no, unless you're in a private sort of housing development or a hotel area that allows it. Those e-scooters, I don't believe, are legal on Thailand roads. If you rent one, I would be asking a lot of questions about the legality and getting assurances from them. Get them to sign something. Get them to say that it's legal on camera. Then you may find out whether it's actually legal or not. I understand that e-scooters are not legal to be driven on Thailand's roads. Electric bicycle. Okay, now we're sort of talking about, so a bicycle, like a treadly, as I call it in Australia, with an electric motor assisting, may or may not be legal on Thailand's roads. I don't know. A push bike is legal if you're wearing a helmet and it's got all the proper accoutrements and brakes and things. So yeah, electric bicycle, we're starting to sort of split hairs a bit here. I don't know. But I think once it reaches a certain power or horsepower or kilowatt power, it may kick from being a sort of a power-assisted bicycle to being an electric bike. And then it may have to have a whole lot of different, might have to be registered, for example. So you may have to just check on the power of your electric bicycle. Okay, another thing that happens, talking about scams, is that a lot of places will ask for your passport. Here's a bike, we'll rent it to you, but you need to leave your passport with us. That happens in two ways. One, they will take your passport away to photostat, which you usually have to sign. My advice is always follow your passport and make sure you see that they make only one copy of your passport. Again, ask politely, do it with a smile on your face, but never let your passport out of your eyesight. And never, ever let anybody keep your passport whilst you're hiring a motorbike or anything. Don't ever use your passport as leverage to hire something or borrow money, for heaven's sake, or anything like that, okay? So you are required as a foreigner to carry ID on you all time. So that's either going to be your passport, a copy of your passport. It could be a digital copy on your phone. Take a photo, always keep that on your phone. Or if you're living in Thailand, of course, a driving license or a motorbike license with your address is also considered valid ID. But as a foreigner, you are required by law to carry ID on you at all times. So they're the things I wanted to talk about. Richard Evans says those electric scooters are everywhere in Queensland. Nearly got hit by one the other day walking my dog. Nong Wah So says, no one I know in Nong Wai wears a helmet. We're going to have another short break now. Enjoy the music here in Dinan DeLuca for just 5 seconds. With apologies to people with their audio on. Oh dear, it must be revolting. It is for me. And we're back. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm about to finish because it's getting a little bit difficult to talk as all this is sort of starting to block my senses a little bit. So apologies for our shorter than usual program today. What about Thai guys? Do they have to have ID? What about Thai guys? Do they have to have ID? Asks Donald Person. I think Thai people by law are also required to carry ID. They actually have an ID card in Thailand. My understanding is that Thai people are required by law to carry ID at all times. In fact, I've always noticed that they're quite happy to get out their Thai ID and flash it in front of you. So I'm legitimate, I'm legitimate. So I'm pretty sure that Thai people have to carry ID as well, and they have their own Thai ID card, which is about the size of a sort of a bank card or a Visa card. All Thai have an ID card, says Nongwa. So yes, that's correct. Okay, Rack's View says, looking at my insurance policy, the maximum payout for death is 500,000 baht. That's the compulsory only. So is that vehicle insurance or is that life insurance? So Rack's View, talking about his policy for death, is 500,000 baht. So you're only worth 500,000 baht, Rack, if you're dead. That's not very good, is it? If the electric motorbike is under 500 watts, says Thomas Hardy, no license or tag is needed. 500 watts. Okay, well that's not very much, is it? If it's over 500 watts, a motorbike license and registration in Thailand is needed. And Rack clarifying that he's talking about vehicle insurance. So if you get killed in a car accident, you're going to receive 500,000 baht. Okay, thank you. So Thomas telling us that if your electric motorbike is under 500 watts, half a kilowatt, then no license is required. But if it's over 500 kilowatts, then it will. What's the best way to retire there? Cheap rent, buy, cheap apartment. Donald, that's a very big question. I should do a whole program about retiring in Thailand. What's the best way to retire there? Firstly, come here and visit the place for, I don't know, a couple of months. Go to Chiang Mai, go to Khon Kaen, go to Pattaya, go to Bangkok, go to Hua Hin, go to Samui, go to Phuket. A few other places I could recommend. Send me an email. By the way, if you want to send me an email, timnewtontoday@gmail.com. timnewtontoday, all one word, @gmail.com. Donald, I think it's probably going to precipitate a whole video. You're going to need minimum access to about 30,000 plus baht per month. 30,000 baht, absolute minimum to live here in Thailand, and that would be living in an unfashionable area, probably not along the beach of Phuket or Pattaya, or on the penthouse of a condo in Sukhumvit. So you're going to need 50 to 100,000 baht per month if you want to lead a good life. But come here for a couple of months first and spend a couple of weeks in the places that you think may interest you. Do that before anything, because coming here for a holiday and coming here to live are two very, very different things. And whilst Thailand is a great place to live and it suits many of us in many ways, it's not for everybody. And some people find after they move here that just it doesn't suit them. So do yourself a favour, spend a little bit of money, invest some time, and come and visit Thailand for a couple of months and just try a few places. Also, once you're here, I'd always recommend applying for your retirement visa in Thailand rather than applying from outside Thailand. If you come here on a tourist visa, you can go to a visa agent and they will be able to turn that into a retirement visa. You'll have to prove that you have 800,000 baht in a Thai bank account or access to 65,000 baht per month. You'll need to prove that to get your retirement visa. If you're applying from outside Thailand, you also need to have a criminal record report. You also need to have a few other things. 3 things. I can't remember the other things at the moment, but I'd always recommend if you're going to apply for a retirement visa, an O visa, do it here in Thailand with the assistance of a visa agent, and they'll help just sort of get the wrinkles out of your application. So there you go. That's my sort of quick recommendations. Firefly, fly to Penang to Phuket. What are we talking about? What's the best way to retire there? Blah, blah, blah. Food history, Firefly Airline. You can fly to Penang from Phuket, Penang in Malaysia, and Penang is about exactly an hour from gate to gate, about 50 minutes in the air, and they fly about 4 times a week at the moment. Question, what's your guess as to what happened to Jim Thompson? Scott D. Jim Thompson, the Silk King, the Silk Man. Yes, there is some controversy about what happened to him. Can I address that some other time? I'll have to read up about it. I have written an article about that a long time ago, but I can't remember all the factors. But I do remember that there was some controversy about his passing. Thank you very much. Pool party at Tim's. My pool at the moment with full sunshine during the week. Just amazing. I love my pool. Is there a surfing beach with cheap rent? Ooh, Donald, no. Once you're talking beaches, you can pretty much cut out the word cheap. Surfing beaches in Thailand, you're pretty much talking about the west coast of the Andaman coast, where the beaches, of course, are open to the Indian Ocean. So, yeah, you're not going to get any surf in the Gulf of Thailand. That's Samui, Koh Tao, Pattaya, Koh Samet, Koh Chang. None of those places are going to have good surf. Thailand's not really known for its surf, but if you want to stay on a nice beach, on the beach, cheaply, you're going to have to get out of the main population areas, and you're probably going to be up in Phang Nga, up along the coast between Phuket and Khao Lak, where you're surrounded by more Thais than you are 7-Elevens, girly bars, and a whole lot of farang. So there's no such thing as cheap beach accommodation in Thailand anymore. Those days are gone. And if you do want cheap beach accommodation, you're going to have to get out of some of the main touristy areas. I'm not even turning the camera away anymore. I don't care. I apologise. I apologise profusely. $42,000 for, okay. So Seascapes is answering Ian McNamee. Yes, you can get a 20-year Thailand elite visa, and he says it's going to cost $42,799. So an elite visa is a visa by which you can buy a long stay in Thailand. You can't work under those visas, but you can stay for an extended time. So yeah, if you want to read up about the elite visas, just type elite visa Thailand in your Google machine and you'll be able to read up about those. And you can get, I think the smallest amount you can get is for 5 years. And how much? I think they're 600,000 baht for 5 years, and it does, as Seascape suggested, they go up to 20 years. And basically, you don't have to do your 90-day reporting personally. You'll get somebody to do that for you. You get access to come through immigration through a special line. I think they take you to the airport. There's a few other sort of golf games and massages involved in there. But if you want to read up about elite visas, they do cost money, but they do get a lot of the wrinkles out of living in Thailand, and they go from 5 up to 20 years. Type in elite visa Thailand into your Google machine and you'll be able to read up about those. Alex Malcolm says you have to keep, talking about retirement visas, you have to keep 800,000 for much of the year. Only middle 7 months can reduce to 400,000, and I'm carefully checking your bank account. And immigration is carefully checking your bank account. Yeah, look, Alex, you do have to keep the 800,000 in the bank. Again, you just need a good relationship with immigration, and that can be harnessed partially through working through a visa agent. These people pay immigration to work with them, and they help immigration by making sure when an application lands on their desk, all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, and that they don't have to sort of call you up and say, where's this, where's that, where's this piece of paperwork. But yeah, the amount, you definitely have to have that 800,000 in the bank, or you need to have access to 65,000 baht plus per month in income from an overseas location. Noting that you can't work in Thailand and be earning income which would contribute to that 65,000 baht. Bulent Unat says, Thailand Elite Visa is hot product right now. So many people are going for it. Yeah, Thailand Elite are very, very busy. There's a lot of people arriving from one particular country, and they're finding it hard to apply for B visas or O visas or other extension visas. And so they are just paying hard-earned cash for a Thailand Elite visa at the moment, and they are very hot property, as you suggested. Nongwa Su says, easy, just go to an agent, they can do it all in Thailand. Yeah, don't discount using a visa agent. Always go for somebody who is recommended, somebody that a friend says, yeah, they're legitimate, they're good. I'd recommend. There are some scammers out there, there's no doubt, but a good visa agent can make your life in Thailand much easier and probably cheaper in the long run. Ian, don't scratch your head, Tim, you might get splinters. You're being rude, I'm not sure. I've just about done it here. I used to get a bungalow in Patong Beach for 100 baht per night, says Grunt Max. Yeah, there were the days back in the 80s, maybe even early 90s, where you could get beach accommodation for a very low amount of money, 100 baht a night. Those days are long gone, and I think you'd be looking outside of the main touristy areas to more remote beaches to get those sort of cheap accommodations. You're not going to get 100 baht a night anywhere in Thailand anymore. Ian McNamee says, I used to sleep on the beach. Well, you can do that. I wouldn't recommend it. And if you do, take some mosquito spray with you, because you'll wake up in the morning and you'll have bites all over you. I can guarantee that. Okay, and with that, I think we've done enough. I think you've probably had enough as well. I really apologise for this. And I'm sorry I didn't have a guest with me today, but we've covered a lot of topics, and hopefully it's been of use for you to be with us over the past hour. I always get these last moment questions. Seni Ans, how does Bangkok deal with all the night soil? Where does all the Scooby-Doo go? I'm sorry, I don't understand. Thank you, Seni. I don't understand your question. Good luck. Wake up with a sore bottom. Naughty, naughty. So there you go. It's the last time you're going to see me blow my nose on camera. Apologise. I've done my best today. It's been a bit difficult. My voice is going. I'm sure you've lost your patience. So I think we've done it. Hopefully that answers some of your questions. Tomorrow I've got a video coming out. I did an interview with a visa agent in Penang when I was there last week. His English is not 100%, but his name is Jim. Be well known to many of you who have gone for visas in the southern part of Thailand over the years. And he's going through some of the problems that people are having getting visas from outside Thailand at the moment. And if you're looking at applying for a visa in the next 2 or 3 months, it might be worthwhile video viewing for you. It's about a 26-minute interview, and that's with Jim from Rami Sharma Travel. Shami, I forget now. My brain's gone to fluff. Thank you very much, Alpha. Just found your channel. We'll subscribe. Thank you very much, Donald. Appreciate that. And we try and do our best to keep you up to date with Thai news. Thank you, Lance. KJ, look, thanks for working well sick. Get well soon. I come from that sort of breed of people who will just keep on working no matter what. So you've got me until the day they light the match and send me up somewhere else. Thanks for joining us. Back with the Daily TNT on Monday, and I think there's going to be some big news next week, or at least it will be official. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us on a Saturday morning here from Phuket. TNT live back on Monday, and also we've got a special video tomorrow about immigration visa hassles for people applying for visas outside of Thailand. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye to Lance, Cash for Cat, and Scott D. Thank you very much for your generous motion as well there, Scott, and everybody else who's joined us on the stream. Here from Dean and DeLuca and our sponsors, 5 Star Marine. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time.